I'll explain the story of why I left the Spice Girls. It's very important you to understand, I think I owe you all an explanation, is that the bottom line is I was going to leave the Spice Girls at the beginning of the tour. Well, I told the Spice Girls at the beginning of the tour that I was going to leave in September. I wanted to finish the tour, and the girls knew that. They knew I was going to leave at the end of September. And so that's not quite right what they say there.
Geri Halliwell's sudden departure from the Spice Girls in May 1998 sent shockwaves across the world.
When Geri left, it was a complete shock.
It was not simply the exit of a band member.
We are upset and saddened by Geri's departure,
but the rupture of a carefully constructed idea. 5 women presented as inseparable, resilient, and unbreakable. For fans who had invested emotionally in that image, the sense of loss was immediate and profound. The media response was relentless. British tabloid The Sun captured the moment with a double-sided commemorative poster, one side immortalizing Geri's iconic Union Jack dress at the Brit Awards, the other showing her final Top of the Pops recording with the band on the 21st of May 1998, a single object encapsulating both peak and fracture. By mid-1999, Geri had launched her solo career with the album Schizophonic, while remaining largely disconnected from her former bandmates. The remaining 4 Spice Girls were also pursuing individual projects, but continued to operate as a group. Schizophonic, a 10-track album, presented 2 contrasting sides of Geri's identity, one reflective and restrained, the other provocative and outspoken. The ballad Walk Away stood out as a quiet meditation on leaving the world's biggest pop group and stepping into the unknown alone. Whilst promoting in Canada, Geri rejected the Spice Girls' version of events surrounding her departure the year before.
I'll explain the story of why I left the Spice Girls. It's very important you to understand, I think I owe you all an explanation, is that the bottom line is I was going to leave the Spice Girls at the beginning of the tour. Well, I told the Spice Girls at the beginning of the tour that I was going to leave in September. I wanted to finish the tour, and the girls knew that. They knew I was going to leave at the end of September. And so that's not quite right what they say there. And but then I wasn't allowed to do a breast cancer interview during a few days before I left, and I got very, very angry because I'm meant to be the evangelist of girl power. I mean what I say. It's more than a band. This is about, speaking up and fighting for women. And I felt that I was being challenged and tested in life. And sometimes we are.
Sorry, wouldn't that be in their best interest to have you do that?
Yeah, well, I'm not judging anybody. Everybody's different. And this is, you've got to understand, I come from a different place. And I was reading a book about it at the time. I've had a lump in my breast myself. So I was, I was very intense about the subject. And I just thought, I felt like a hypocrite and a liar. And you've got it in life sometimes. As much as I wanted to be on stage, as much as I wanted to come to Canada and America, some things in life are more important than you've got to get your priorities and your values right. And I thought, what? I have to do this. I have to go and speak up about breast cancer. If I can't do that, then I'm a cheat. What I've been talking about to all of you little girls, is worthless unless I can do that. So that's why I left on that day. I was going to leave anyway in September because I think everything has its time frame. I love the Spice Girls. I gave my heart and soul to that group, and I loved it. And we had some great moments together. I'll always care about them.
Later that year, Geri achieved a UK #1 single and quickly sought another. Her third release was scheduled for the same week as Emma Bunton's debut solo single, with Tin Tin Out. What followed became one of the most publicized chart battles in British history. Geri pursued maximum exposure, employing aggressive promotional tactics later discussed by Victoria Beckham and Elton John in the 1999 documentary Victoria's Secrets.
What do you think of Geri's album? Geri Halliwell? Put you on the spot there. Have you spoken to her since?
No.
No? Don't you think that's a shame that you know, after spending all that time together?
It is a shame, but I think that she kind of has turned it into a war in a way, you know. I mean, when they had their singles out together, her and Emma, she did as much as she could, didn't she?
Oh, I know. It was all a big publicity exercise. But isn't that what singles are about? Publicity, I mean...
But the thing is, though, I mean...
But if you had a Spice Girls record out and say Boyzone had a new record out in the same week, you'd go for it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I wouldn't go to the Sun dressed as a schoolgirl with my...
Unlike me.
...boobs out and talk about my relationship.
Her relationship with television presenter Chris Evans further amplified media attention. That same week, the Spice Girls appeared at a press conference promoting their book Forever Spice.
Do you feel in competition with Geri?
Not at all. I think for me,
A single's wicked. My girls love it.
I've just really enjoyed the whole process of making music, and that is what is important to me. And for me, the chart position is a bonus. Do you know what I mean? That is what I'm about anyway.
Girls, do you think the Geri stories that have been around in the last couple of days, is that an attempt to get her to #1 and keep you
I
on?
think you have to ask her about that, not us.
Who knows?
Geri ultimately secured the #1 spot, leaving Emma at #2, a result that did little to ease tensions. As the new millennium began, both Geri and the Spice Girls found themselves in court over the Aprilia legal case. The Italian scooter manufacturer claimed Geri's departure had caused significant financial loss and alleged that the group had misrepresented their stability when entering the sponsorship agreement. Both Geri and Emma gave evidence in February 2000. Geri arrived carrying a transparent bag containing a box, a prop from the video for her single Bag It Up, effectively using the court appearance as a promotional moment. The Spice Girls lost the case. Importantly, no legal action had been taken against Geri when she left, and the Spice World Tour promoter did not pursue the group. In practical terms, the Spice Girls' popularity and sales had not suffered directly as a result of Geri's departure. She was able to exit contractual obligations without serious repercussions.
The Spice Girls? Well, they're performing tonight. You know, they're like the Beatles.
In March 2000, the Spice Girls received the Brit Award for Outstanding Contribution to Music.
Your home girls, the Spice Girls.
They performed a medley of hits and publicly thanked Geri in their acceptance speeches. As the group took to the stage at Earl's Court, Geri left the arena.
Doesn't matter what anyone else says, it's about the music. Right. Apart from thanking you. And my family. Yeah. We've all got to say a big, big thank you to Geri, because without her, we wouldn't be able to have done this.
Earlier that evening, she had performed her own new single there, and both she and Melanie C. were nominated for Best Female Artist. While some reports claimed backstage encounters, these are not referenced in the group's autobiographies. Later that year, the Spice Girls released their third album, Forever. Featuring a distinctly American R&B influenced sound, it marked a clear departure from their earlier work. One of the album's songs, an R&B tinged dance track packed with attitude, is Tell Me Why, in which the group expressed their feelings of anger towards someone who has walked out on them. Geri later wrote in her 2002 autobiography, Just for the Record, that she was a pop artist and had no interest in the musical direction she knew the others wanted to pursue. Writing in their book, Forever Spice, Emma talked of the plans for the third album. One day we all sat down and talked about how we'd been working for such a long time. We came to a point where we said, okay, we definitely want to do another Spice album. But when the tour finishes in September, you never know. We might want to do our own thing for a while. Geri was the first to come to the group and say that she wanted to do her own thing. I remember being absolutely gutted and crying. We said, that's cool, we all want to do that, so it's fine. But I remember feeling upset because I was worried that it might come to the point when she left. The rest of us were quite definite about doing another Spice album, whereas she wasn't. Forever peaked at number 2 on the UK album chart behind Westlife and failed to match the success of the group's previous albums. By 2003, Geri had reconnected with Victoria Beckham. In the isolating world of celebrity, they found a shared understanding and appeared to put past issues aside. On the 17th of February 2003, all 5 Spice Girls reunited at Victoria's Hertfordshire home, widely referred to as Beckingham Palace. It was the first time they had all been in the same room since the private Helsinki to London flight on the 27th of May 1998. The dynamics had changed. As solo artists, each had experienced new pressures and freedoms. Acting roles, judging panels, and individual ventures emerged, often accompanied by public commentary from former bandmates. Just weeks earlier, Melanie C had questioned Geri's authority as a judge on Pop Stars, the rival.
As well. I went to Orlando and I went and interviewed Liam and Noel Gallagher, and they were saying, well, what right does Geri Halliwell have to kind of comment on pop acts? Does she have the qualifications for this? What's your opinion?
My personal opinion is that I don't think that she does.
Right.
I don't think she's of a talent. Oh, that was my first day back and I'm being controversial. No, but I don't think she's of a talent to comment on other people's talent. That's my opinion.
According to accounts later published in Heat magazine, the dinner was intended as a nostalgic catch-up. Emma arrived first, followed by Mel B and Mel C. Geri arrived last, having flown in from Los Angeles the previous day. She reportedly apologized for her past behavior, using prompt cards to recall specific incidents, and became emotional as the others reassured her that she was forgiven. The meal was catered, beginning with soup and homemade bread, followed by fish with baby potatoes and vegetables. No plans to work together were discussed, but the group reminisced, listened to their hits, and enjoyed each other's company. Though the evening did not result in a reunion, it marked a turning point. Differences were eased. Years passed quietly. Solo careers faded, public sentiment shifted, and the music industry changed. Then, in 2007, following a partial reunion at the christening of Geri's daughter, discussions about working together began. After persuading Melanie C, by far the most musically successful solo artist of the group, an announcement was scheduled for the 28th of June.
In person for the first time together in 9 years, since Ginger did a bunk in Oslo. Posh, Ginger, sporty, baby, scary, the one and only Spice Girl!
Like, supposing you've ever got divorced and you've fallen in love with your ex-husband again. That's how it feels like to me.
Geri, right, okay.
Great, we love her. She just appreciates the fact we've let her back in.
Yeah.
But we do have
24 hours to
That's why she's
unsign.
a bit up our asses at the moment. But
Yeah, I'm on my best behaviour.
It was the moment fans had hoped for but scarcely believed possible. All 5 original Spice Girls reunited to announce a world tour and a greatest hits album. 2 new tracks were added, including the charity single headlines, Friendship Never Ends.
I think we're all just happy to be back together and think out of all the girls, it's myself and Geri who probably appreciate being in the group more than anybody. Not because of the music, but literally just on a personal level, about having our friends around us.
I cannot tell you how excited, how proud and joyful I felt to see those girls together.
The tour shattered records across Europe and North America. Though cut short due to Mel B's abusive marriage, it provided a sense of closure for the group and their audience. In 2012, the Spice Girls reunited again for the closing ceremony of the London Olympics. Their performance became the most tweeted moment of the Games and remains the last time all 5 have performed together. In 2018, the group met again at Geri's home to discuss future opportunities. Now firmly established as a legacy act, they had the chance to enjoy group projects as friends while satisfying public demand. A stadium tour followed in 2019 featuring Geri, Emma, Mel B, and Melanie C, selling out 13 stadiums across the UK and Ireland, including Wembley. Victoria Beckham declined to perform but remained creatively involved behind the scenes. At the last show, at London's iconic Wembley Stadium, Geri made a heartfelt apology in front of the fans and her bandmates.
This afternoon, I need to say something very, very important I should have said a long time ago to Emma, to Melanie, and to the fans, is that I'm sorry. I'm sorry I left. I was just being a brat, and I want to say that it's just so good to be back with the girls that I love and with you lot. Thank you.
Earlier that year, Mel B appeared on Piers Morgan's Life Stories, where she made a revealing confession.
There were rumours that you and Geri were, more than just good friends. You'd had a little dabble. Anything you want to share with the group?
Oh, she had great boobs.
So you did?
Well, not really.
Oh, you clearly did, right? Yes? Come on, your
Why
books.
can't you answer for me?
I don't know any.
Oh, whatever, Ernie.
I don't. This is all new to me.
Come on, your book's called Brutally Honest.
Yeah.
You were coming here to be brutally honest.
I am being brutally honest.
But did you or didn't you with Geri Halliwell?
Well, what do you consider as doing it or not?
Did you sleep with her?
Yeah, we all slept in a bed together. But not like that, all of us.
Did you sleep with Geri like that? Yes. Really?
She's gonna hate me for this because she's all posh in a country house with her husband. Oh, but it's the past. But it wasn't a thing. It just happened, and we just giggled at it, and that was it.
The comments reignited speculation about her relationship with Geri, which prompted Ginger Spice to make her own official statement, denying the claims and expressing distress at their resurfacing. Despite this, the tour proceeded without visible tension, with Geri and Mel B appearing at ease together. Speculation about the nature of their relationship has persisted for decades. While boundaries were blurred and intimacy openly discussed, no definitive account of a romantic partnership has ever been confirmed. Former husband Jimmy Golzer once suggested their connection was deeper than people realized, a comment widely misinterpreted. At the time of Geri's departure, both she and Mel B were in relationships with their backing dancers. With the band now self-managed following Simon Fuller's departure, personal lives were no longer tightly controlled, contributing to growing separation. Melanie C later acknowledged that Fuller's role as mediator had been crucial. Without him, tensions between the band's strongest personalities intensified. So, why did Geri leave? The book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, seems to have profoundly influenced her thinking. Not only did she write a song of the same name for her third solo album, Passion, but she left the band shortly after reading it.
Actually, yeah. I'm reading a book at the moment, is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway.
Well, what's that about then?
It's kind of, you can, if you just, don't worry about anything, you can handle it.
The book encourages courageousness, going for what you want despite the fear it brings. It cannot be pure coincidence that this book had shaped Geri's decision-making at the time. After talking about this on Chris Evans' TFI Fridays show, she held a meeting with him later the same month, just 2 days before she walked out. Could he have encouraged her to leave the band early? Was she asking his advice on how to handle the situation? All accounts agree on one thing: Geri's exit in May was unexpected to the remaining four. There were no arguments on the Helsinki flight. Geri appeared quieter, but nothing more. The breast cancer interview she later cited as the final straw has never been corroborated by the others. In fact, days earlier, the group had worn breast cancer awareness t-shirts on top of the pops in solidarity with her cause, and Geri had already been granted a solo interview with The Sun. Was it likely that, when the group had the morning off anyway, they would cancel an interview that was so important to her? Geri wrote that she learned of the cancellation after arriving home in London. Whether she discovered this via email, pager, or other communication method remains unclear, but it is interesting that none of the other members have confirmed the incident.
The story goes that she was going to do, or she wanted to do something to do with breast cancer, but Mel B wouldn't let her. And I don't know that story. I don't remember any of that.
What is clear is that Geri was exhausted. Footage from her final performances show a withdrawn figure. Years of bulimia, unresolved grief following her father's death, creative redundancy, and the pressures of touring likely converged. Unlike the others, live performance was not her strength. Her contribution had always been conceptual and cultural. Branding, storytelling, instinct.
I'm the Gary Barlow. That's disgusting. He's a serious, very harmless, with loads of rhythm, and writes all the stuff. The brains behind it all. Without me, there's nothing. I promise.
By 1998, sponsorship responsibilities were diminishing, musical directions were shifting toward R&B, and her sense of purpose within the group appeared to be fading. Geri would later admit that, in the days leading up to her departure, she already knew she could not continue.
I remember knowing in my heart, days approaching, that I was going to leave, and there was the song Viva Forever, and I was like standing there and I was thinking, oh my God, this is the last time I'm going to sing this with these girls. I can't do it anymore. I just felt empty, and I'd given them everything I could.
This acknowledgement is perhaps the clearest indication that her exit was not a sudden reaction to events on the 27th of May, but a decision reached in advance. If so, it casts doubt on the claim that the cancellation of a breast cancer interview was the final trigger. Her previously stated intention to leave at the end of the tour in September would have offered a more conventional and comprehensible conclusion. Contractual obligations fulfilled, a sense of achievement intact, and a structured transition into solo work. However, this proposal was not well received by the remaining members. The Spice Girls had been built on the premise of 5 individuals operating as one, and even the suggestion of an eventual departure introduced instability. The idea that one member was already contemplating an exit unsettled the others and undermined the unity they believed defined the group. This is not the only evidence suggesting that a May departure had been planned. On the day Geri left, her brother Max was ready, willing, and able to travel with her to Paris.
So I'm in Paris with my brother.
By Geri's own account, he was an accomplished professional with an established career. The suggestion that he was able to abandon his commitments at a moment's notice to accompany her abroad, without prior arrangement, raises questions about the spontaneity of the decision. A further indication lies in the resignation of Tor Williamson. Her departure from the Spice Girls organization was announced at precisely the moment the group were holding crisis meetings to redistribute lyrics and responsibilities following Geri's exit. Within a week, Williamson was working alongside Geri. In If Only, it is noted that Williamson appeared unexpectedly as Geri disembarked from a flight at Farnham Airport. The notion that Geri might have hoped, or assumed, that someone would intuitively know when and where she would be landing, and that this person happened to be Tor Williamson, is difficult to sustain. The executive jet touched down at Farnham Airport early on Thursday morning. I had no idea who was coming to meet me. What if nobody turned up? What if the press were waiting? Suddenly, I felt like a little girl lost again. Please, please, someone be there, I whispered. The jet taxied to a stop and a car drove across the tarmac. It parked beside the steps and Tor Williamson, my former PA, stepped out. She had left the Spice Girls only days after I did. We gave each other a hug. I'm here as a friend, said Tor. If you need any help, just ask. I had never doubted Tor. She'd always been there for me. How are you feeling? She asked. Like an outlaw on the run. You're going to have to come out of hiding sometime, I know, but I'm not ready yet. I just want to be somewhere I can feel safe and get my head together. George is in Saint-Tropez. He'll see you there. At the airport, Williamson reportedly told Geri that arrangements had already been made for her to stay at George Michael's house. These actions appear less consistent with those of a concerned friend responding to a crisis, and more indicative of a professional decision already in motion. An employee leaving one role to follow the person she intended to work with next. Years later, standing on the Wembley Stadium stage in 2019, Geri publicly described her younger self as a brat, acknowledging the hurt she had caused and offering an apology to both her bandmates and the fans. Ultimately, the reason for Geri's planned departure after the tour in September appears cumulative rather than singular. Exhaustion, creative misalignment, emotional strain, shifting relationships, and an instinctive need for self-preservation. However, Geri's early exit on the 27th of May appears less upstanding, if the evidence reviewed here is to provide the answers. Let's remind ourselves of the clues. The meeting with Chris Evans 2 days earlier. The strange goodbye as they landed at Heathrow. No recollection of the breast cancer interview by Mel C, and no mention of it by the others. Geri's brother Max being available and able to go to Paris with her on that day. Tor Williamson's shock resignation announcement a day after, then working with Geri within a week. The Molly Dineen documentary allegedly starting production just 2 days later. Geri's admission that she knew of her secret departure days before. Whether Geri's departure was inevitable or preventable is a question history still refuses to answer. But the evidence reviewed here strongly suggests Geri brought her departure plan forward, but kept those plans from her bandmates. It suggests this was not a spare-of-the-moment final straw situation at all. Did she feel guilty about leaving them mid-tour and wanted to avoid a confrontation? Did she want to intentionally harm the other girls by walking out unexpectedly? Or did her exhaustion and feelings of redundancy feel like a weak reason for leaving, so she created the canceled interview story? What is certain is that the Spice Girls story has endured in part not despite its fractures, but because of them. Real friendship does not always move in a straight line. It bends, it pauses, it breaks. But in the case of the Spice Girls, it does not disappear. In full formation or fractured numbers, since their 2007 reunion, the Spice Girls have continued to return, reminding us why they mattered then and why they still do now. Their friendships have endured the unimaginable pressures that the biggest band in the world would have felt, and all the crazy experiences along the way. They have, in so many ways, grown up with us. We have looked on as they explored worthy solo careers, regrouped for incredible reunion tours, and met socially as friends. Their story is inspiring, and Geri's departure, as painful as it was at the time, became part of their legacy and allowed them to show their incredible abilities in strength and resilience. No matter what Geri's motives were for leaving, or how she executed her plan, we must remember that they were all young women just trying to survive as best they could in extreme circumstances. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Spice Girls content if you haven't already. Here's another video you'll probably like, and a playlist to really spice up your day. Until next time, stay spicy.